Somebody does not want to accept the fact that you cannot be sacrificed. Whoever this person is in their thoughts, you're this victim. You're constantly running and being tormented by them, and they control the narrative of how the nightmare goes. This is somebody that casted themselves as the boogeyman or the boogie woman. And for whatever reason, they don't want to awaken to the reality that you're not the victim in this nightmare. That in fact, they are not the puppet master. This person carries a stench, a funk, if you will. It's their energy or the lack thereof. You know, when the divine spark is out, people smell rancid. You can smell their resentment, their anger, their frustration, their ignorance. Ignorant to the fact that they don't know who they are, or they maybe know who they are, what they are, but they don't want to admit that to themselves. It's a dangerous game. Somebody played a dangerous game with themselves, only to end up realizing that you never were a player in this weird ass game. Neither were you a victim to somebody that casted themselves in the role of being your victimizer. This is a shadow manipulator, puppeteer. They like to play in the dark. Now they're being forced to awaken from this very beautiful nightmare that they love to create over and over and over, where you get tormented and tortured. Because to awaken to the reality that the nightmare only belongs to them, that it was only a thought that they took action on in their own lives, is too hard to face. This is probably one of the most severe cases of spiritual delusions of grandeur, is what I just heard. Because in reality, you're not their sacrifice. Never will you be their sacrifice. That is the truth. That is the reality of it. So however they're thinking, whatever they thought to do, is backfiring on them. One thing about thoughts, there's a spark. You think it, either the thought comes and goes or passes, or you take action on whatever that thought is. And I feel like somebody thought this out so long. For them, it was their best thing they could have ever thought of. That eventually them thinking about it wasn't sufficient. Because in reality, it didn't match up to what they were imagining about you. So at some point, the parallel timeline, the reality of the fact that you were going on with your life, that you were happy, that you weren't playing the victim, you weren't feeling victimized, but in fact, you're standing in your power, made this person want to take action in the physical to bring to life the things that they were thinking in their mind about you. They imagined it down to the very detail of how they would be able to keep you in this box, keep you stuck. But every time they went to check to see how that projection was going, they found out that you weren't receptive of whatever this energy was that they were projecting out. But in fact, they were the ones in the box. Somebody's mind backfired on them. And that's a fact. Welcome to Spiritual Court TV, broadcasting live 24/7, 365. If you're new, bring your intuition. If you're returning back, bring with you your discernment. Take what resonates. What was going on an alternate reality? What was happening in real life With you, chosen one, this says laughter, happiness, joy, and healing. That's got to burn a bit, you know? That's got to burn somebody's ass up to imagine you being the victim. And look what card is right under that. It's so timely. It's so in order. Narcissist. Look at how happy this person was, thinking that they were tormenting you because that was their reality that they wanted to make real, only to find out that you could never be their sacrifice. Laughter, happiness, joy, and healing. Oh my goodness. Somebody imagined it down to the very detail. Every day, their mind was consumed in torment, believing it so much that they took action to make it real. Somebody went in for the kill. They absolutely did. Divine Mother, great creator, father, source of all things, divine spark. What is going on? What is this case about? You are the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. You are sitting in your spot. Something about wealth, not just financially. That very well could be the case for the Queen of Pentacles. You know, the Queen of Pentacles is diligent, down to earth, grounded, practical. They work smart. They don't work hard. They work smart. They love their family and they take care of their home. Queen of Pentacles is a beautiful energy. Whenever I think of Queen of Pentacles, I don't necessarily isolate that character type to just a zodiac. I feel like we've exceeded that. You know, I feel like we're embodying all the zodiacs, you know. Today I'm feeling a little Sagittarius, you know, within myself. Maybe it's that Leo energy, Aries energy with the Lion's Gate, but I'm feeling very fiery in a very warm and endearing way. Just a heads up, temperature check, right? I just had to say that for whoever needed to know it. I feel like I said that for myself though, okay? Two of Wands, you're gone. You've been gone. So somebody has something in their mind about you, thoughts that they've had, things that they imagined doing to you. I just heard torture chamber. Torture chamber. Shackles on your feet. Somebody in their mind felt like they had you bound. And when they came to the reality that you were in this joyous energy and that you, in fact, were not bound to any weird ideas or projections or thoughts that they needed to cast out by way of illusions and delusions and grandeur and all this self-aggrandizing energy, big ego, nasty ego death, whoever this person is, when they realized that this was not your reality, they wanted to take action outside of their mind's eye. It's one thing to have the thought, right? And you think about it so much. Somebody didn't get what they wanted from thinking about it. They got to a point where the thoughts weren't satisfying them anymore. And somebody took it upon themselves to plan something, to take action, because they needed you to feel their reality. The Lovers. They imagined you bound and stuck, and that was never the case. So they took action. The Chariot. I just heard, since you've been gone, I can't sleep one other night. I'm so alone. I miss you. Yes, I do. Since you've been gone. Somebody didn't even know that you were gone. In their mind, you were in that torture chamber in their mind, in the escapades, in the caverns of their minds, you were somewhere in the Ten of Swords. But two things can absolutely be true at the same time. You're the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Wands, the Lovers, and the Chariot. You've been gone. Six of Swords, peaceful, calm. Nowhere in this person's nightmare, nowhere near their nightmare. Ten of Swords. In their mind, you were in the Ten of Swords, crying, sad, Nine of Wands, wounded warrior. Somebody also wanted to wound you to the point of no repair. This person needs you to need them. It reminds me of the movie Misery. That's an old school movie. You know, if you know that movie, then you know. Yeah, somebody needed you to be miserable. This is a clown, a fool, somebody that was having a ball in their own circus, in their own mind. Delusions, illusions. This person took action. Spirit says this is the truth. Once they realize the truth and the reality of the fact that you were not in their torture chamber, in this nightmare, this person went into complete and total madness. They were already enraged in a very sick and twisted way because they give me this feeling of entitlement, like they deserve to do this to you. All for love, right? Their love language ain't your love language. What they're talking ain't your talk. Yeah, I can't make this up. The Two of Swords in the reverse. They realized that reality hit them like a ton of bricks. Just imagine somebody is like somewhere for the longest time. Maybe they lose track of time. Maybe the days go by. Maybe they're swearing on their life every day that you're going to come back and that you're not going anywhere. And if you don't, I'm going to torture you so that you need me. It's a very nasty trauma bonding energy. It's a master slave's mentality, only to realize that you could have never been the victim in their nightmare. And now they're too afraid to wake up to the reality of it. But when they did, somebody went into rage. Somebody was seething. But where exactly are these emotions coming from? Because I can't even give it a name. I want to say rage, anger, insanity, the audacity to feel as though you escaped a tortured chamber in their mind because they had the thought, and so they took action. But when they checked to see what was going on, you had ascended so many spiritual levels beyond their way of even knowing how to think, knowing how to be, knowing how to exist. You're coming up as the Hierophant. Man, that's gotta burn. Every day you get up, you imagine somebody being tortured by you, and you decide to peak. Because people like this, you know, that do things in the spirit energetically, they like souvenirs, you know, they like videos, pictures, things from their victim. So somebody couldn't help but check to assure whether or not what they were projecting out had become a reality in the physical after taking action. It's one thing to think about it. I'll use myself as an example. I've had people in my mind that I wanted to choke the hell out. And in my mind, that's exactly what I did. But in truth and reality, did I actually do it? Did I take action on the thought? No. Somebody was like, I'm about to make this a reality. This person may have even been thinking to abduct you, find you, hunt you down. Somebody grew weary in their own nightmare. And when you, the victim, who was never really the victim or the sacrifice, is in a whole other alternate reality where the person that's thinking this deeply about you doesn't even exist. You don't think about this person. You're laughing, happiness, joy, healing. Queen of Pentacles, you could be a businesswoman. Two of Wands, you could be traveling. The Lovers, doing things that you love. You have a love for life, and you're in the Chariot. I just heard somebody say, how long you been gone? That's a red flag. Somebody miscalculated the dates. You're standing in your power. That Lionsgate did you extra, extra good. So now somebody is like, I need to take action. Two of Swords in the reverse. Unstable, choosing the lesser of two evils. Because now thinking about it, it's not enough. It's not satisfying them. Somebody was getting satisfied off of the thought of you being the victim, you being their sacrifice, you being their slave, you being bound, hurt. Whatever thoughts they had, they needed to take action to make it a reality, because everything else outside of that not being a reality meant that they lost. But they were already lost. How long you been there? They don't even know how long they've been there. It's like living in a house with somebody for 10 years in two separate rooms, and you never go in the other room to see if the person's there. You just assume that they're there. And one day you decide to knock on the door, only to realize the person's been gone 5 years ago. It's giving that kind of weird energy. Four of Cups. I can't make this up. The harsh reality that they've missed, opportunities, is driving this person to insanity. Clarify this person, this nightmare, this situation. The Knight of Cups. Four of Cups. You've been gone, collective. You're in the Hierophant. Some of you could be married. Yeah, some of you could be married. Hierophant, Chariot, spiritual person, highly intuitive, and you have the authority to call judgment down over these harsh realities. Their reality and your reality don't line up, but in order for them to feel satisfied, they need you to agree to be a part of their nightmare. You never could have agreed to that. This person is finding out that you can't be sacrificed. You were never sacrificed. In their mind, child, they did all kinds of crazy things to you. Look at the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. They took action. Thinking about it wasn't enough. So what did they do? Spiritual word, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. It backfired. So now, not only are they being forced to awaken from their nightmare where they casted you as the victim and them as the controller, they're now getting back the energy on a physical level. When they took action in the spirit, so they did something spiritual, obviously. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. In their mind, in their story, they sacrificed you. They unalived you. So now they can't stop looking for you, watching you. Page of Wands. They're trying to get information. How long you been gone? Because they're crazy. In their mind, you're in the box. You're in the box in the room, you know? You're in this little dollhouse that they think they can control. Every day they get up. I bet you won't go outside. This is how they talk to the whatever they got. Could be a doll. Could be an item, a strand of hair, a toenail, an old shirt, old underwear. Don't matter. Old is the key word. Old energy. You're in a new energy now. Oh man, That really pisses them off. They ain't never seen that energy. They're like, oh, you're in an energy that they've never even felt. So how does that work in a nightmare that was supposed to last forever? You're the Empress. In their nightmare, you were being tormented. Ten of Swords, couldn't get up, couldn't move. Why didn't they cast themselves as the clown? You got the Eight of Wands. A lot of things were said mentally, quietly, muttered, uttered, hoping to send that energy out, that it would find you wherever you are. You got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. This person is twisted because now in their nightmare, they see you as somebody that needs them. Look at how they're coming out. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. This is somebody that imagined feeding you, taking care of you. Somebody needs debilitated people. Somebody needs to be needed. And if people don't need them, they become violent. And then they create bad circumstances to break people down so that those people circle back and need them. This person was anticipating that you would be at their door begging. They lost track of time. You were never in the other room. You were never in the box. In fact, you're in the Chariot. Hierophant. Wisdom. Love. Two of Wands, moving forward. It was all an illusion. Look, Seven of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. Single, happy. It's one thing to be single and even married. But are you happy? This card says happiness, joy, and healing and laughter. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Somebody's nightmare is coming to an end. Oh, somebody's like, what? Five of Pentacles. They vowed to themselves. They swore on everything you would need them. So they waited. This was their wish fulfillment. It's all that they could think about. 99.9% of the time, they put their mind on it. So in their mind, it's real. So to see with their own two eyes that you are not in the box, that you are not the victim in their nightmare, that you cannot be sacrificed with the hangman, because the hangman is them keeping you hung up like a ball and chain. Okay. This person didn't want you laughing. They didn't want you dancing. They didn't want you happy. And you're doing everything that you want to do in your own reality. And it's beautiful. And so Five of Wands, this is causing chaos. Somebody could be tearing up their house, throwing stuff, screaming at everybody, snatching stuff, mad. Seven of Cups. This person was asleep, like completely gone, with their eyes wide open. You ever talk to somebody and look into their eyes and you could tell there's no brain activity? You're like, you sleep, huh? It's the most peculiar thing. Clarify, Holy Spirit. Somebody been asleep and they don't want to awaken from the nightmare, because in the nightmare, they're the bad guy, but they're also the savior. Heroism. They want to be the hero. But now that the victim is gone, they feel like there's a chase. There's a hunt. No, honey. Your mind has been twisted and tied with so many different illusions and delusions of grandeur. Six of Wands, needing to win at all costs. But you, collective, kindred soul, divine feminine, you are winning at all costs by any means necessary, protecting your peace. That's what I just heard. Yeah, look, you've been gone. Eight of Cups, out of there. You've been gone. You even left a glass behind you that appears to be a quarter full, 1/3, something like that. You even left an offering You left everything beautiful behind you, and everything before you got better. Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and the Lovers. Oh, somebody's little nightmare is shooketh. You know how much work they put in to assure that you're in this tortured chamber, this mystery box that could have never been solved? This is the way they saw you, in a state of confusion, lost. Oh, this person not going nowhere. She's not going nowhere. Child, this person is burning up. They took action. Temperance energy. Look at your energy. You're tempered, you're calm, you're balanced. Your reality cannot be changed by somebody else's projections or the neglecting of their own mind. Somebody neglected their own mind. Yeah, look, you got the Queen of Wands energy. You're confident, you're beautiful, you're fiery, you're the lioness. You're being crowned. Okay. I just heard fashionista. Okay. Somebody looks real good. Taking care of yourself. Red could be a significant color. Burgundy, gold. Listen, you are the high priestess. Not only are you not the sacrifice, you're not the victim. You're the Hierophant and the high priestess. So this is really like a joke, but this person's probably not laughing. The high priestess. Six of Pentacles. You're in an agreement with the universe. You understand ebb and flow by way of law. You're on a whole nother reality in the sun's energy. Laughing. Clarify. This person took action though. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Their own mind, their own thoughts backfired on them. This is like somebody being tortured and tormented by their own thoughts, and they're unaware of it. So when the backfire hits, it's normal. It's a normal day for them of misery and pain. If they're not inflicting pain on others, they don't really feel a satisfaction. And that's the sad truth that this person doesn't want to admit. That is the reality. That is what's being made real. Yeah, I just heard they want to go back to sleep. It's peaceful in that nightmare because in the nightmare, they got you chained up, balled up, looking crazy, and you need them. Pentacle, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. They can feed you. They can give you something to drink. And they can also decide if you live or die. This is the nightmare that they're projecting out. Now it's the one that they're living in, not just in their mind, but it has become a reality because they took action on the physical. See, the thoughts weren't satisfying this thirst for you being a sacrifice or bound. And we haven't even gotten to the backstory because I just don't feel like the backstory is necessary. This is current energy. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Something backfired. Big time. Because when they see you, you're moving forward. You got the Devil and the Four of Pentacles. Somebody thought they had their foot on your neck. Somebody sat with themselves. This is how crazy this person is. They sat with themselves and enjoyed the pleasures of imagining you being tormented and tortured and them every day being able to decide your fate. The Devil and the Four of Pentacles. The devil had this person held and nailed to the cross. Unbeknownst to them, begrudgingly, they watch you laugh, be happy. Okay. Or they just know that you're happy. Somebody had a reality check. The Devil and the Four of Pentacles had this person hellbound. Shackles on this person's mind. This is the kind of person that could sleep a lot. Yeah, they took action. The Magician in the reverse. Manipulating energy, alchemy. wasting time, wasting energy, slipping into darkness with the devil. Slipping into darkness, and I heard that devil say he was slipping into darkness. Burning in hell. That sun represents the lake of fire. That sun can keep you warm, but you can't get too close. But keeping that person in the lake of fire, this person is a spiritual pervert. Oh, the things they did, honey, in that torture chamber are things that we don't even want to give any energy to, because that somehow would make them feel as though it is still a possibility to be a reality. And that's not something we want to encourage. However, we are here to channel this energy. I hope this is helping somebody. The devil in the Knight of Wands, oh, the things this person did in their mind, honey, to you in a torture chamber. They didn't even want to know where you were. I feel like at some point, they didn't care if you returned or not. Because in their mind, you were in the next room. They just never thought to open the door. You were gone. The moon. The things this person did in that torture chamber, deja vu. The things that person did, honey. Oh my God, the devil had this person bound. The devil and the Three of Swords, every dark seed in their mind, they put into that work when they took action. Dark magician, smells like a nasty, funky ass, stinchy ass warlock. And then there's the Nine of Swords. Notice the torture chamber. The color red is significant. Blood could have been very significant in this person's rituals when they took action. When they found out that you were happy, oh, they took physical action. And that's where they messed up. This is why nature's on that ass. The Five of Cups, I bet you are in the Five of Cups. They made a deal with the devil. They were excited about it. They went knocking at the devil's door, and the devil was waiting. A sinner man, where you gonna run to? 10 of Pentacles. When somebody found out that you were happy, oh, they just couldn't take it. That defied the laws of gravity, their reality, their nightmare. How could two things be right at the same time? Well, if that's what they need to believe, we encourage them to continue going with the flow. Go ahead. That's what you want to believe? Because that North Node, this person was never even born in your mind. And that's really how it is. It's almost like cursing the day that you ever met somebody. You ever walked away from somebody and said, you just spit them out like, ugh, damn, I could have skipped that experience. It's giving that kind of energy like, damn, what was that about? What am I supposed to be learning from that? I could have skipped this whole situation. In your mind, they were never born. You literally cursed the day that they were born. You know why? Because when you walked away in the Eight of Cups, you're like, man, I hope this person don't ever meet nobody else. You saw into this devil. You saw that the devil had taken over. You saw that their love language amplified rage and hatred. That's their love language, abuse. And they wanted you to love it. They needed you to be in love with your abuser, but you could have never been abused. You're not even the victim. You've been gone. Seven of Swords. They took action. They did something in the physical, on the physical level, to make things real. Six of Cups. Illusions. Nostalgia. What do you do when somebody is trying to flip the narrative, do a binding spell, a torture spell, taking action, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse? Somebody even got so crazy, they may have even lost their job. This is how heavily invested this person is in whatever they were working with this torture chamber. Just imagine that for just a moment, just for educational purposes, because we do not want to see through the eyes of this person. I can already see into their mind's eye. The Seven of Wands. They hate the fact that you stood your ground. Somebody lost a sense of reality. Every day, somebody prepared for you to return so that they could make that torture chamber a reality. And when that didn't happen, and they realized, oh my God, wait a minute. You weren't in the next room. They went and took action to make it a reality. They went and made a deal with the devil with a sword in their heart, brokenhearted. Their thoughts have made them sick. Their mind has backfired on them. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Because to know that you're in the Sun, Hierophant, Chariot, the Lovers, the Two of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles, baby, listen. You were guided by your spirit team to stand your ground, rightfully so. Your reality ain't their nightmare, but your reality is their nightmare. Because your reality is laughter, happiness, and joy, and peace. You know, you just pat your pockets and you like fresh out of dams to give. Like, let me see if I give a damn. Nah, I'm fresh out of dams to give. It's a no. 10 of Pentacles and a star. This is your current energy. This is reality. This is what's really going on with you. Okay? This is what's actually going on after somebody took action on a thought. This put them in the Five of Cups. Because how could this be so? This is how they feel. So now they're arguing with the devil. How could this be so? How? I took action. The Magician in the reverse. Seven of Cups. To create an illusion. To make you feel stuck. Only to find out that you are the Empress. That you are the Queen of Wands. The Moon. You know exactly what they're doing. You can see. And somehow that weird little fetish of you being the High Priestess and being aware of this nightmare that they're creating and the fact that you know kind of makes them happy. It's weird. They know that you're the High Priestess. They know that realities are realities. Somebody wanted to will that thought into reality, but it never happened because your will for yourself and standing your ground, chosen one, was greater than anything that was on the outside of you. Greater is the creator that is within me than any gods or goddesses on the outside of me. And I bear no ill will towards you. Peace be with you. But if you want to get with the spiritual business, I'm going to hand deliver you over to the devil. I'm going to give you a shovel. So while you dig in the grave, make sure you dig too. Or maybe more than that for all your other personalities. That's what I just heard. Come through, Holy Spirit. The divine is not playing right now. It is still the Lion's Gate, and this is being eclipsed. What's the energy right now? The Ace of Swords. The Two of Swords came up in the reverse. If it was thought about, we can see it. If it was said, we can tap into it. Anything we want to see and know, all we got to do is tap in. That's what this eclipse is doing. Why? People of the truth, people who can hear the truth, handle the truth, speak the truth, execute the truth. It's not a big deal. Where in some cases, this particular truth could be making somebody very uncomfortable. They absolutely feel like a clown. That's the only thing they got right about that nightmare of a story. They wanted you to be the star that fell from grace. Oh my God. Let's see what's going on. Divine Mother, show us what's going on. I just heard they can't seem to get it together. Okay. Or maybe this was something that they said to you when you were in the torture chamber in their mind, in the escapades of their soul, when they were having a conversation with none other than El Diablo. Okay. Well, I'm just saying. I just heard Peter Piper picked a pepper. Child, somebody is hot as hell. Somebody is hotter than the hottest habanero. 7 of Swords. They took action. 3 of Pentacles. Okay. Eclipse it. We're going to eclipse it to see the truth. Here's this raggedy, dirty bum ass, demonic ass, nefarious ass, bastard. The fact that you know what they're doing and that you're not affected still satisfies their curiosity by way of what if this were the reality. This person wants your attention. They like your attention. But you've already cursed the day that they were born, which means they were never born. You ever just met somebody, you like, damn, I hope this person don't hurt nobody else. That's the energy that they give off. You picked up on this person's insidious. Yeah, you did. You had too much light around you. Ace of Wands. Walking, breathing, living word of divine intervention. Your laughter represented the Holy Spirit. Your joy represented divine spark. Your light represented the sun's energy, vitality, life, energy. You came to illuminate. You were more a man than a man in this circumstance could ever be. Your masculine energy was coming out. You're coming out divine feminine as an emperor, Ace of Wands. You're like, well, somebody got to be the man around here. A divine masculine. You saw through this person. 4 of Pentacles. You kept it to yourself. You didn't even say anything. You just made note and you bowed out gracefully. You ever just been sitting with people and you know, like, yeah, you crazy for real, huh? Okay. Well, I'll be right back. Right? You know how to talk a crazy person down. You know how to put them down for a nap. And it's crazy because a crazy person always knows when you're about to leave. They always know. Man, flashback, they always know. They always know when you're about to leave. I had one devil jump up in the middle of the night tomorrow. You trying to leave me? I'm like, oh my God. I never denounced it. I never denied it. I have to tell the truth. The only thing I said in response was, go back to sleep. You crazy. And that was the truth too, right? Yeah. King of Swords. You're not afraid to execute. You saw through this person. They did something in the physical. Child, they should have just left you alone. They should have just stayed in that little nightmare. Imagine themselves torturing you since that was bringing them pleasure. Okay, whatever you need, right? It's like being stuck in a horror flick. Okay? Only to look up and realize it's like a one-man show. Ain't nobody in this nightmare with this person. He imagined all that. King of Wands in a reverse injustice. When somebody found out that you were happy and that you were out here looking good, every time I see the Queen of Wands, I think about somebody that's just fine, honey. Confident, easy to get along with. You know, Queen of Wands energy is fun. If you've ever hung out with a Queen of Wands in a high vibration, oh man, they are a good time. They're funny. It's a lot of laughter. It's like the fire. It's like, okay, let's go do this. Okay, let's go. That's how Sagittarius women are. They are fun. They're the best to travel with. High vibrational. Leo energy, Aries energy. They know where they're going. They're confident. They're intelligent. They're intuitive. The best to hang out with. The best to hang out with. It doesn't matter if you have a little or you have a lot, because the vitality that comes from the energy sustains the experience of having a good time. That Queen of Wands energy, when somebody found out you was out here having a good time, that you kept on moving, Page of Cups. You kept on moving and you had love offers coming through. Look, Page of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles, that's like being single, free, having options. not needing to be in a relationship, comfortable with yourself. But if one comes along, okay, but you got standards. You got to be this tall to ride this ride. It's giving that kind of energy. What's your spirit looking like? What's your soul looking like? Let's talk. Right. Hermit energy, walking around outside, very extroverted, but introverted when you need to. Somebody don't even like the fact that you outside. Hermit energy, they wanted to isolate you. But see, hermit has nothing to do with isolation. Hermit has everything to do with intuition. Like, what? I'm in hermit when I'm in a large group of people, around a whole bunch of people. Okay. Not isolated to a box, right? But this is the four corners of my world that is divinely protected. That determines my reality. And that's ironclad, and can't nothing stop that. I can't make it up. The Hierophant and the star. Who tried to cast a Hierophant and a real star Empress energy into their twisted ass King of Wands in the reverse as nightmare. Justice in the reverse. Somebody's a sexual deviant, sexually delusional, weird, angry. Justice in the reverse. So committed, wasted time, wasted energy. All the while you had ascended. I cannot make this up. You had ascended, chosen one. Yeah, I just heard I've been gone. You didn't know? What? That's crazy. Yeah, look, I've been gone. The fool. This is somebody that's completely, totally delusional. Somebody imagined you being there, right there with them controlling you. Look at this. 8 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. Working day and night, every day. Trying to get you bound up in their mind, just psychosomatics and schematics and dynamics and diameters of a torture room and what they would do to you. And the things they did in that room, honey, in their mind's eye, third eye blind, bound to the devil, hellhounds, only to realize you're not in the 5 of Cups, you in the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, that's got to burn. That's burning a hole through this person's whole everything or whatever it is. It just burned down their whole nightmare. They're rethinking their existence. They're rethinking who they are. They're rethinking everything because so much time and thought went into them putting this energy into what they so effortlessly believed was a reality. This cannot be so. How can two things be true? This person's mind has been separated and divided. Ooh, I just heard divide and conquer. That's a cold psychosis. Yeah, that divide and conquer ain't no joke, but it's necessary. That divide and conquer ain't no joke. Clarify, Holy Spirit. Yeah, that divide and conquer ain't no joke. Somebody's mind has been separated, one from the other side, left side, right side, cognitive abilities. They don't know what they are, who they are, where they're at. That reality got shattered completely and totally. How can two things be real at the same time? They can't. Truth and reality is you're not their sacrifice. You could never be their sacrifice. You're not in their world. You cursed the day that they were born because you knew they were a menace to society. You walked away. You left them a cup with the 8 of Cups. Here, drink from this. Peace be with you. You've been gone. In their mind, you're in the next room. Star, Hierophant. Yeah, that's crazy. You had cut this person off. Clarify this King of Wands in the reverse. Injustice. Now they stressed out, looking crazy. Why? Because they're having to accept the fact that they're a dead man walking. Somebody's walking the green mile. Somebody's been on death row, honey, waiting to die. Or maybe they had an execution date, and it's already happened. That's tough, ain't it? They've been excommunicado. This person didn't even, you didn't even encounter this because the energy that I'm getting from this person is oh yeah, you crazy for real. You ever just sit next to somebody yeah, I got to get out of here. If I don't leave you, you would do something to me. That's your intuition. Never go against that intuitive nudge. And you bowed out gracefully. You even knew not to cause a stir. Because this right here, King of Wands in the reverse, oh, this is a live wire. Don't put nothing past people and what they won't do. You hear these little love story, crime stories, like, damn, they was married for 20 years and he just took her out. Like, damn, what happened? She ended up getting her master's and she was about to finally leave. Yeah, you got weird people out there that think like that. Be mindful. Listen to your intuition. Nobody wants to end up in those circumstances, but when you have people who are unconsciously conscious, meaning they walking around like normal damn people and they batshit crazy, they got all kinds of weird stuff going on and things they watch and things they take in that they don't want nobody to know about, like hell no. And then they come out into normal society trying to transfer that spirit. They always want to shake hands. Oh, hey, how you doing? What's your name? You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. Lay hands suddenly on nobody and listen to your intuition. There's been people, literally, I kid you not, they want to shake my hand. And I pick up like a weird spirit, I'll give them an elbow in a minute. Okay, no, Or just, I keep my hands folded. Respectfully, this is my vessel. This is my energy. I've done too much work to alchemize other people's weird energy that wanted to attach to me. Ain't no way I'm about to walk up to a familiar spirit and let them transfer that energy. That's in the scriptures. Lay hands suddenly on nobody. People transfer their energy or they want to attach their funk to you because they doing weird stuff behind the scenes. Been isolated for too long. Bored with life. So they create these alternate realities that can never be real, but they love to be asleep. And to wake them up makes them feel insulted. 10 of Wands. Here's the reality. Reality is this is a nasty ass, dirty ass bastard. Some people are better off not being on this planet. This is somebody that's really sick and twisted. Oh, the things he did in that chamber. King of Wands in the reverse with the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles, child. Somebody's mind has been separated and divided. They are feeling every single energy, spirit, force, demon, goblin, goon, gargoyle, whatever they sent you, whatever this was, because they wanted to take action. They wanted you to feel this energy. Not only did they take physical action in the spirit realm with the magician in the reverse, they did magic. They're feeling all of it. Remember, the 8 of Pentacles was in the reverse. They're feeling all of it. Spiritual court has already decided on this raggedy, dirty foot ass bastard, and it's going to be a tower. This does conclude this message. Holy Spirit, close this door, please, and thank you. I just heard, kindred soul, you will continue to make great strides. This battle is over. You were never a part of it. This merely was an experience and an opportunity for you to see something within yourself in order to create your own reality. And whatever that is that you did in the hermit energy going within, you successfully did that for yourself. Whatever that person had going on, this person is a has-been. They never been. They never once was. They don't exist. Their reality is delusional. Things that they wanted to make real on the physical don't resonate with the conscious collective that's too awakened for the BS and the manipulation of energy. Maybe this would have resonated at different points of the conscious collective's lives when they were going through the dark night of the soul. But to be the Hierophant, the star, the high priestess, and the Ace of Wands, yeah, this is petty intrigue. It's a story that people will tell when we reference hell. That's the only place these people belong. King of Wands and all of whatever he did, Nine of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Tower, he's feeling all of it. The future has books, dictionaries. And when they look up the word hell and what that actually means, because the future won't know any hell. They're in the star's energy. It's the golden age. But just for reference points, when they look up the word hell, they're going to see this person's face. Oh, that's peculiar. They'll see this person as a peculiar specimen. Is this what used to exist in 2026? Yeah, it's something that's been discarded and simply gotten rid of. Thank God for that. This is the message, okay? Like, love, share, subscribe. I'm coming back with more readings. I love y'all. Peace be with you.